Hey everybody, Alex here, going over some technical aspects of the Android-based mobile. If you've never used one of these devices before, I'm just going to cover some basic functions that are helpful and also may help some of you troubleshoot any sort of technical issues that may be easy to resolve, just knowing how to navigate around here. So if you look at the top here, this top bar, if you hold your finger near the top of the screen and then drag down, you're going to get access to some settings. This right here, by the way, that's a little icon that is for Wi-Fi. If you hit that little down arrow right there, you'll get a better view. So just hit that down arrow, and that gives you the readings. Okay, so right here it's saying, this is who I'm connected to on my Wi-Fi network. You don't have to use Wi-Fi, but this is where you would basically put that in. As you can see, kind of straightforward here. When you turn that on, it will show you different networks available. You'll click on the network, you'll connect to it, you'll have to put in the password, all that kind of stuff. If you ever want to turn off, then of course it's kind of obvious. You'd hit this little bar, slider bar over here. And on the previous screen right here, you can also just tap this right here and it turns it off and on quite easily. All right, so mobile data, as you can see, it's kind of gray. Nothing's really happening there, no bars, nothing like that. And that's because I have it turned off. So if you have any connectivity issues, just trouble, just doing anything, logging in, using the app, just want to double check that your mobile data that is pulling the information from the server for the software is turned on. How do you do that? Well, you just put your finger over mobile data and hold it down, and there you go. So then we would look down and we'd say, hey, look at that, it's not on. Let me click that and slide it back on here. So that's just kind of something to check there. That could trip up a lot of people if for some reason it's turned off. So it takes a minute, by the way. You see that little up arrow there? It's starting to reconnect. It takes just a few seconds, and then it will start to pull and connect to data again. Okay. So if we slide over to the right, airplane mode is something that may or may not be useful depending on where you are. You obviously also want to make sure that airplane mode is not turned on, otherwise it'll be difficult to do anything on your device. There's screen recording right there if you wanted to like make a demo and just show anything on your phone and record it and then send that file to somebody. That's an easy way to do it. You may want to, when you send that file, since it'll end up being quite large, put on Wi-Fi, get on a Wi-Fi network. And once you're connected to Wi-Fi, then send the large file. Just a little tip. So if we want to get into more settings now, we click on this little wheel here. See that? And let's see, what do we want to do first? Let's click on network and internet. And if you scroll down right here to SIM cards, the only time you'd need to know about this section here is if you are installing and putting in your SIM card, or you are wanting to put in a different carrier's SIM card. It is a dual unlocked phone, dual SIM card unlocked. If you live outside the United States, you will not receive a T-Mobile SIM card, which is mainly for the US. So you can, but you're welcome to put in any type of SIM card in here that you'd like. I would say that one little piece of advice for the United States, some people wonder, can I put in also a different SIM card and use a different number? In here, while I'm in the United States, because you actually live in the United States, you can do that. However, the T-Mobile, AT&T, that conglomerate, which I think maybe owns another company, we know their data works just fine. Verizon, the number and the texting works, but the data does not work. So just a little FYI, if you're having trouble running the app with that carrier, that's because it's not really that compatible with the data aspect of Verizon. Not really too sure about the other telecoms. I think Sprint is just like the other main one. They may have even merged with T-Mobile. I actually forget. But anyways, pretty easy to just experiment and try it yourself anyways, just throw in a different SIM card. And this is the area where you would be able to switch back and forth. So if you did or turn on and off a SIM card. Okay, so depending on what you had installed here, you could flip the switch and turn it on and start to pull the data from that, or use that number, or do the texting from that. You can also, again, have two simultaneously at the same time. This is where you control all that, okay? And preferred SIM 4. So if you had another SIM in here, it might give you a choice. Like, I prefer this other brand. And then that's where you would choose either what you preferred or whatever you want. So let's back out a little bit more. Now, one thing is that if you happen to be calling anybody on your device and it may be sounding a little garbled and just not a good connection, and it's happened a few times, you just might have Wi-Fi calling on the function. So hit the search bar at the top there, see the top, search settings, and you'll actually type in Wi-Fi calling. There it is, and you just click the button. Now you see a couple things here, Wi-Fi preferred. Let's click on that. Enable Wi-Fi calling. So again, this is if you have any garbled. What this means is basically, if for calling, if there's a Wi-Fi that's available, it may try to access that and end up bouncing back and forth with that and like the 3G, 4G sort of thing, and potentially that can interrupt the quality of the connection, even though actually it's supposed to enhance it, according to telecom companies. So that's just something to check. If it's like, wow, it sounds so garbled, people are telling me when I'm talking to them on the device, just check and see if your Wi-Fi calling is on, okay? So that's just one thing to know about. And let's just back up here and back up. Some people say, hey, what's my phone number for the SIM card? So once again, in the search settings, the easiest way to get there is type in phone and then scroll down. Now you see this section here that says about phone. Click on that one. Now normally when you click on phone number status, this is normally where you actually will see your telephone number. For me, it doesn't show up because I have a special device. But basically, normally, this is where your phone appears, your phone number, okay? So in the off chance you don't see your number there, you can just go back here and you see a little phone icon right there. You'll just click that, and then you'll just dial this little dial pad right there. And now just dial in your friend, family, your own other cell phone, and just dial that number that you know. And then you can just see what on that other device, what number this particular device is. That's a pretty fast and easy way just to, handle that if you need to know. Let's see, is there anything else that we needed to know? I don't think so. I think that's about covers it. One thing I would show you, though, is remember you hit the little wheel here, was block calls. So if you ever are getting any calls to your phone that are just like weird strangers, the SIM cards are about 5 years old. They recycle numbers and plans every 5 years, most telecom companies. And that's weird. Let's go back here again. Okay, so if you want to see any recent calls, click this button here. And you're like, gosh, I keep getting this call, all these calls from whoever, this person. So if you see that in the recent calls, you just hold your finger over that, and it pops this up, and then you can just block the number right there, okay? And that's the fastest way. If you keep getting calls from certain numbers, just block them, and then you will probably not get any sort of spam calls or anything like that. Even 5 years later, sometimes a particular phone line still gets some random spam numbers called, and that's just an easy way to actually block that, if you're wondering. I think that's about it. I just wanted to double check here. If you're having anything with like a dimming screen that like turns dark and you can't see what the heck is going on, you may want to turn off adaptive brightness. Just turn that off. Only it's nice to have. It's more comfortable on the eyes. But if you're having any sort of screen issues where it's like dimming on you, and then if you click advanced, or if you have it like turning off in inopportune times, you can turn off the sleep function right here, or turn off the screensaver or something like that. So that's sometimes some of these random things are turned on for people. If you have any more questions about technical aspects of the phone, just leave them below in the comments and I'll try to resolve those with a video.